Welcome, Caroline.
Thank you so much, Sean, for having me. I am so honored. I love doing this. I just, you asked me and I was like, yes, I want to share. Yes, thank you so much.
We are honored.
Thank you so much. I am honored. I'm honored. Thank you. So, basically, if you have seen my presentation from Ian's conference a few weeks ago, you will see some of the same slides, but I'm going into more detail and taking a deeper dive in this presentation. So I am going to share my PowerPoint with you. And here we go. And save. Maybe you need to click it again. There we go. All righty. Now moving on. Okay, as Sean indicated, I did have a very strong connection to higher self. Now I know I can say higher self at 60. I didn't know at 5, 4, and 5. My parents sent me to Catholic school, and I was in Catholic school for 6 years from K to 5th grade. And we had religion every day in class. And I would listen to the nuns and usually it was a priest for religion class. Then back in the 60s, the nuns didn't really teach religion class. It was always the priests. So I'd listen really attentively, and certain things didn't resonate with me. But my father was very strict. He said children are to be seen and not heard. So when I had questions about what I was learning in religion class, I couldn't ask. I couldn't ask in school. I felt I'd get in trouble, or I couldn't ask at home. So I had to keep all of that bottled in. But I always felt very close to this inner knowing, and I always followed it. And because I always followed my inner guidance, I was like considered the oddball. Even my father one time said to me when I was very young, it's like, why can't you be more like your brother? And I was thinking, even at that age, I was thinking, well, because I'm not him. But I could not say that. If I said that, I would be in big trouble. So, so I had to bottle a lot of things inside when I was younger. So as I got older, in high school, I just found that picture online. I was looking for a classmate of mine, my best friend from high school, and I logged into this website called classmate.com. And I found this is the yearbook from my freshman year. They didn't have my senior yearbook, but they had my freshman yearbook. And I got this picture off of that. But when I was 15 years old, I was introduced to this book, Think and Grow Rich, by a guy I had a crush on. He was interested in making money. And he's like, you got to read this book. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, I had a crush on him. So of course I read it. But what I never really had an interest in making money. My interest was always just finding out about life and who I was and why I was here. So this was the first book that introduced to me the idea that we actually create our reality with our thoughts. And I was like, that is very interesting. Okay, so as I got older, I started studying everything I could find metaphysically, spiritually. There wasn't many books. This is probably around the mid to late 70s is when I started my search, and into the 80s. So there wasn't much like it is now. But I did study and read everything I could find. And there was something, a part of me was saying, all of this sounds really, really good. This is way better than what I was learning in religion class. All of this sounds good. It resonates with me. But I felt like there was something missing, like I needed a piece of the puzzle to tie everything together. And so that missing piece for me, and it's different for everybody. I'm just sharing my journey. That missing piece for me was quantum physics. I never really heard of quantum physics, but in 2007, I first bought the original What the Bleep, and I was so impressed with that. I bought the extended version, What the Bleep Down the Rabbit Hole. Actually, you only need to buy one because the second one has the first one plus more. So, but I watched every second of it. Now, this documentary, it is a documentary film and a movie. And you can choose to watch just the movie or just the documentary or both. And I watched both. I highly recommend the documentary. The movie was, it's okay. But the documentary was really, really amazing. So I think with both videos, at 6 hours, I was watching. And there was one statement that was the catalyst. It was just one sentence that woke me up from the inside. Lynn McTaggart, she's been a guest, I've had the honor of having her as a guest on my show. She's not a scientist, she is a journalist. She said, the biggest problem in the world today is the illusion of separation. As soon as she said that, something literally woke up inside of me where I knew, not from my head, but from my heart and soul, that simple statement was true. And so from there, it changed my life. So from the movie, I learned about quantum physics, quantum entanglement, meaning all particles are entangled, quantum entangled. And Einstein had discovered this over 100 years ago, and he called it spooky action at a distance. And all particles in the universe are entangled and connected. So it's also known as the unified field theory. So nothing is separate. This has been proven scientifically that there is no separation. Yes, it appears separate, but nothing is separate. Everything is energy. That energy is interconnected and interdependent, meaning if a butterfly's wings flap, it's going to affect not just the entire world, but the entire universe. Everything is interconnected and interdependent. So the truth of universal oneness is, when you look into another person's eyes and all you see is yourself, all you see is a reflection of you. That other, that other is not separate from you, and that other is not separate from God. All that is source. Doesn't matter what name you use for God. I prefer all that is, because there is nothing outside of God, and it's all interconnected. We're all connected with God. We're all connected with each other. And when you know that, no matter what, we know not everybody on this planet are doing nice things. We know that. But when you can look at another person and know that person is God in disguise, then you truly, from your heart, not your head, then you truly know and understand oneness. Now, when I was very young, the other thing that helped to wake me up was 7th grade science class, when we were studying molecules and atoms. And my science teacher said, I'll never forget him saying this, because it was another awakening moment for me. He said, nothing is truly solid. And we were talking about atoms and how everything is made of atoms. So that was another another aha moment. And so we know that you put anything under a high-powered microscope, all you're going to see are these moving particles called atoms, and they're not touching and they're moving. So meaning this desk that I'm sitting in front of right now, it seems like it's not moving, but the atoms inside of it is moving, meaning everything has life in it. Things that we think a rock we think a rock doesn't have life. It does. You put a rock under a high-powered microscope, you're going to see those atoms, and they will be moving. And we've learned, and this is actually newer science, that we've learned that an atom is 99.9999999% empty space. So the atom, which is the building block of matter, are not even solid. They're empty space. So everything we think is solid is not solid. And science has proven this. Now, the visible spectrum of light, this graph here, chart here, shows what humans can see with their eyes. Humans can see about 0.035% of what is actually around us. We know that with scientific equipment, we know that there is much more surrounding us than what we can see with our eyes. And so what gets me, and when people say, and people still do say, well, I only believe what I can see. So you're negating like 99.9999% of what is actually around you, because what you can see is extremely limited. Going on to human senses, we have the 5 human senses: sight, hearing, taste, touch, smell. With these 5 senses, scientists have determined that humans can actually detect 0.4% of what is actually surrounding them. So before, the other chart was just about sight. Now, if we take all the 5 senses, they're saying, scientists are saying humans can only detect about 0.4%. So again, if we say we only believe what we can hear, see, touch, and taste, then we are negating over 99 point something percent of what is actually there. And science, this is science. Science is kind of proven what we have learned spiritually. Okay, what's the difference between knowing and believing? Okay, so there is basically, believing comes from what we learn, what our mind, our brain, the things that we studied, the things that we've been taught in school, in church, books that we've read, lectures we've gone to, workshops, all of those things. They build our intelligence, and all of those things come from outside of us. And we have that limited knowing of the things that we learn from outside of us. But a belief is also something that you can change. Like, you can have a belief one day and then tomorrow have a totally different belief. But a knowing is completely different. It comes from a different place. Knowing doesn't come from the brain. It comes from your heart. I call it wisdom. Wisdom comes from your heart and soul connection. Now, your heart is connected to your higher self. Your heart is connected to your soul, which is infinite knowing, infinite knowledge. A lot of times you'll hear someone say, I just know. I don't know how I know. I just know. And when someone says that, a knowing can't be changed. A knowing is something that when you know, it's coming, and you may not know how you know, but when you know it, it's like breathing, and it doesn't change. A belief can change, but knowing doesn't change. Okay, mind versus heart intelligence. You guys have to check out heart math if you've never heard of heart math. Again, they've been doing scientific study on the heart and the brain for many years, and they have proven that our heart is far more intelligent than our brain. Now, people don't think of the heart having an intelligence, but they have determined that the heart intelligence is at least 5,000 times more intelligent than the brain. But what you truly want is what is called heart and mind, or heart and brain coherence, where you want the heart and the brain to line up and be in coherence. That is the best function that we can be at. We function at our best when our heart and our mind are in sync. Put it that way. And you got to check out Heart Math. So what is oneness? When I first launched my podcast almost 8 years ago, Awake to Oneness Radio, people kept saying to me, what is this oneness? Is it a new religion? I'm like, no. Oneness is not a religion at all. For me, it's the opposite of a religion. I don't claim to be any religion. And I was brought up in a Christian home. We went to Catholic church. We never became Catholic. My parents sent us to Catholic school for a better education. But my mom was Episcopalian and my dad was Baptist. My mom was actually raised Baptist, but she became Episcopalian. But as far as a religion, once I awoke into oneness, I dropped all those labels. I was like, no, I'm not going to call myself a Christian because that's separating myself from a Buddhist or a Muslim or a Hindu or a Jew. I'm all of those things. I'm one with everyone, regardless of what their religion is. So for me, religion can sometimes, many times, cause division. And that is not what God is about. God is not about division at all. So oneness is saying we are one regardless of your beliefs. Regardless if you have no belief spiritually. If you believe that I'm born, I live this life, and I die, and that's it. Regardless of what your belief is, oneness is all, is everyone, includes everyone. No one is left out of oneness. Okay, there are two types of consciousness. Now, the collective consciousness, we individually have a consciousness, but that consciousness is collective. So consciously, everyone on the planet is contributing to our collective consciousness. And currently, we're living in separation consciousness where people generally think we're separate from each other. And with that collective consciousness and separation collective consciousness, we have war. Now, when you know, like breathing, like imagine everybody wakes up tomorrow, every 7 billion, they say closer to 8 billion now. Imagine all 8 billion people on the planet wake up tomorrow morning and know that we are all one. We instantly have world peace. So world peace comes from unity consciousness. Separation brings war. Separation consciousness brings hunger. Separation consciousness brings extreme poverty and homelessness. Separation consciousness brings pain, sickness, illness, and suffering. Separation consciousness brings crime. Because if I'm separate from you, I can steal from you. Separation consciousness brings mass shootings and more war. Unity consciousness brings world peace. With unity consciousness, we have unconditional acceptance of another person. Unconditional. We have unconditional forgiveness of the other. We have unconditional love of the other. Unconditional love has no conditions. Usually human love, like I love you today, oh, I don't love you so much tomorrow. That's human. God's love, the love of God is unconditional. And that we are all, that's who we are. We are aspects of that love, unconditional love. Science has proven that everything is the same energy, vibrating at different frequencies. So we have things that vibrate high, things that vibrate low. One of the things that science has proven also that high frequency vibration is much more powerful than low frequency vibration. So I love Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla said over 100 years ago, if you want to find out the secrets of the universe, think in energy, frequency, and vibration, because we live in a vibrational universe. Here's a chart that demonstrates our emotional vibration. Okay, at our core, our emotions have vibration. And actually, we in communicating to the field, the unified field, we send out that core vibration, and we actually get back a vibrational match to what we send out. So we want to, looking at this, actually, I see, for me, love should be at the very top. Unconditional love, they have enlightenment, but okay. But unconditional love is very high on there. And then at the bottom, you have fear, you have guilt, you have shame. All those things are very low vibration. And they're very, like I was saying about science has proven frequency-wise that low vibration is very dense and heavy and contracted, when higher frequencies are very expanded and lighter and much more powerful. The higher the frequency, the more powerful the frequency is. Okay, I love this. It's like I was saying, what we send out to the universe vibrationally is what we do get back. So, and these are showing the wave signals that a high frequency vibration is short waves signals and very fast. Okay, here's a example I love to use with time. When you're having fun, so, and you're at a high frequency vibration, you're laughing, you're having the time of your life. When you're having fun, what happens? It seems like time just flies by, right? It goes, it's a faster frequency. It goes very fast. And when you're bored and depressed and feeling down and gloomy, it seems like 1 minute takes forever. So that's when we're going to talk more about that. But time is an illusion as well, because time is, you literally are going faster when you're happy, literally. And you literally are moving slower when you're sad. So time is, as Einstein said, time is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. Okay. Quantum physics teaches us who we truly are as sovereign, divine beings of light. Actually, that's what my shirt says. I'm going to stand and see if you guys can see it. It says, I am a sovereign divine being of light. I wear that. And that is the only thing I identify with. I don't identify with my skin color. I don't identify with even being a United States citizen. The only label I identify with is I am a sovereign divine being of light. Okay, humans, like I said, we were talking about how limited humans' perception is. And what humans judge with, what they label bad and good, is with their limited perceptions. So in truth, the universe is neutral. And when I think of God, I think of the yin yang symbol, which is dark and light. But if you want it, in truth, it's what we label things, either bad or good. And so we have to be careful of not to judge, because basically when we judge something, we don't know why that is happening. And we can't judge why it's happening. We have to kind of look at everything. Now, I'm not saying, okay, I don't want anybody to misunderstand what I'm saying. We know high vibration and low vibration, and we want to surround ourselves with high vibration. We want to stay in a high vibration. And sometimes if we come in contact with someone that's in a very low vibration, we send them love and light. And we might want to send them love and light from a distance. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's not judging. That's just wanting to surround yourself and surround others with love and light. So judging is condemning and like saying, oh, that person is horrible, he's bad, blah, blah. That's when we judge. And when we judge others, we're only judging ourselves because that other is not separate from us. So it's good to try. It's very difficult for humans to not judge, but to try to send things that we see that are low frequency and low vibration, send it love and light, because we can send it love and light from a distance, but we want to always send it love and light. Quantum physics. And now people have said to me, well, quantum physics is just a theory. And I say everything, all of today's technology is based off of quantum physics, all of it. We could not have a smartphone, a smart TV. We could not have any of the technologies that we have today without quantum physics. That shows the interconnectedness of everything. A lot of times I have scientists on my show, and I had a scientist on my show, and he said, if a person doesn't believe in oneness, they shouldn't be able to own a cell phone, because that cell phone would not be working if oneness wasn't real. So quantum physics is not just a theory. It is what all of today's technology is working off of. The core principle of oneness is what our technology is actually working from. Okay, science, ancient wisdom, and spirituality. There's my yin yang symbol. That symbol to me is the perfect symbol to represent God, is the yin yang symbol. And science is now catching up. Quantum physics is catching up with spirituality and ancient wisdom. Ancient wisdom and spirituality has been teaching the truth of oneness for eons, but science now has been teaching it for the last 120 years. So this science, the science of quantum physics, the science of oneness, is not new. It's something that everybody should know by now. It should be taught in school, which it's not. So it's something that we should all know. Okay, this morning, okay, I added this slide because this morning, and it's still doing it right now, I'm hearing the rain. It's been raining here. I live in the Poconos, northeastern Pennsylvania, and it has been raining all day today. Now, I woke up about 8 o'clock this morning. I'm nice and toasty, warm in my bed, and I'm hearing the rain. I have skylights above my bed, and I'm hearing the rain. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's Tuesday morning. I've got to get up. I got to take out the recycling. I got to take out the trash, and I got to bring it down the driveway to the end of the driveway to be picked up every Tuesday morning. And most Tuesday mornings, I do it with no problem because it's not raining. It was windy, it was raining, it was cold, and I'm all like, So I thought, because I wanted to inspire myself, to motivate myself to get out the bed, go out in the rain. And I thought of a song that I used to love when I was a kid. And the song was, I want to go outside in the rain. I had my phone. I actually looked up the song on YouTube and I played the song, but the song is depressing. The song is about, he wants to go outside, and it's from 1971 if you want to look it up. It was this group, one hit wonder. But it's, I want to go outside in the rain because he's crying, and the rain will hide his tears. So I was like, I listened to the song, like, no, that's not motivating me to want to go outside in the rain. But I remembered this image, which I have posted this picture right here on Facebook several times. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. So that I listened to the song, it's like, no. The song's bringing me down. Then I looked for this picture, and I'm like, okay, now I can go out. I can put on my rain jacket and go outside and dance in the rain. It's not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about enjoying every moment, looking for the blessing in every now moment. That is what life is about. Okay, our greatest challenges are our greatest blessings. And this is difficult for many that are really focused in the humanness of our being to understand. Because when we go through challenges, we don't think of them as blessings. But in truth, they truly are our greatest blessings. And I want to share with you my journey with my son Kyle, because that is my greatest challenge in life. Was my son came into my life November 24th, 1984, and he transitioned at 29 years old on July 1st, 2014. My journey with him actually changed my life. I had the most amazing journey with him 3 years before his transition, when doctors said he wasn't going to make it. And I tried to take my life, but he did make it. I experienced truly a medical miracle where my son pulled himself off of life support and we went home together. Even after I had tried to kill myself, he was on life support for 5 weeks. He pulled himself off and we went home together. We went home on December 30th of 2011. And that day, when I brought Kyle home, I made a promise to God. I said, God, thank you so, so much. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I will never stop thanking you for this miracle, for allowing me to bring my son home. And I've kept that promise ever since that day. So 3 years after that, my son did get ill again, was back in the hospital, back on life support. I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to bring him home this time when he went back in 2014. And I wasn't able to bring him back home. He transitioned and I was at complete peace at the moment of my son's transition. I knew, number one, he wasn't going anywhere. He was just leaving that body, but he wasn't going anywhere. I knew it was a soul plan that he and I had made together. And I knew that it was his soul's time, meaning I know that every soul comes into this life in perfect divine timing, and every soul leaves this life in perfect divine timing. So I knew it was his perfect divine time to leave when he left. And I know that he actually stayed 3 years longer to get me ready. He knew I had work to do. It wasn't my time to go. And he actually stayed 3 years longer for me. I do know that. So now here, 2 years after my son's transition, now I had launched my podcast, Awake to Oneness Radio, 6 months after my son's transition. And I didn't know what kind of guest or who I was going to have as a guest, but I was recommended to have Suzanne Giesemann on my podcast in 2016. And I knew I had never had a mediumship reading, but I knew she was the one for me. So it was that same year, 2016, it was a week before Kyle's birthday. I emailed Suzanne. I said, I'm thinking a lot about Kyle. His birthday's next week. She emailed me right back. I mean, it was like within a minute, I get a response from her. And she says, I'm doing a reading for you on Kyle's birthday. And I say, Suzanne, but that's Thanksgiving Day. I didn't want to take her from her family on Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Day actually is my favorite holiday. And she said, I was told. Sanaya, her guides, said to her before she got my email, you're going to do a reading for a mom that has a son in spirit on Thanksgiving Day. And as soon as she got my email, she knew it was me. So I've got some audio. I want you guys to hear what happened during that reading. Okay, I'm going to play the first one.
We go. And then when we really lock in the connection with him, then you ask him any questions you want. Okay. All right, so here we go. Now, what's that sound all of a sudden? Do you hear it?
No.
You don't hear it?
No.
Wow, you'll hear it on the recording. It was this whooshing sound. As soon as I said, here we go, it was really distracting. You'll hear it on my audio recording. Okay.
Okay.
And here it comes again. You guys got to hold that down. Wow. Okay, so we're gonna, I don't want to be distracted by that, so cut that out. Okay. That is very distracting though. Okay, here we go.
It's interesting. I don't hear it.
You don't hear it? Okay. Okay. All right.
So you can see, it's loud as day, the whooshing sound. And that whooshing sound was all through the reading. It was about only a 35-minute reading, but all through the reading of I could not hear a thing. It was loud as day, but she said you could hear it on the audio. Well, I think she says this. And now the next audio you'll hear, I've never told anyone how Kyle actually passed, how Kyle actually transitioned. Everyone knew Kyle had heart issue, but I never told anyone exactly what caused Kyle to transition. She couldn't have read that anywhere. I never told anyone. So Kyle tells her in this next audio.
That's how that feels. There's a little bit of trouble breathing, and the word embolism comes up. Okay. And let's go. This feels like he's trying to show me some things that may have happened at the end. I don't normally hear embolism, but they may have had some problem with clots.
Yes. Yes.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
Wait till you hear this sound. I've never heard it coming through my computer. It's a vibrational thing. And he says he's doing it. He's messing with the electronics. Well, you can cut it out then. We got you. Unless you want to give us some electronic voice, EVP would be awesome. Never heard that. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I heard a sound there. It might have been your laugh, but it gave me the image of a very small, white, fluffy dog. Do you have a fluffy white dog, or you've had one?
I had one. She's crossed over.
Yeah, well, he's holding her like this. And so she's fine, Mom. And so am I.
Now in that one, you literally hear Coco very clearly. You hear my dog Coco, who transitioned in August of 2007. Little white fluffy dog. Coco, Kyle was holding Coco like a baby, like you would hold a baby. And you can clearly hear Coco's bark. And I'd never told anybody that Kyle transitioned because of an embolism from the complications from open heart surgery that caused an embolism in Kyle's head to burst. And that's what caused Kyle's transition. So that was amazing. Now, and what she had said there, she said to Kyle, unless you want to give us some EVP, electronic voice phenomena, which I had never heard of. And when she said it, it totally went over my head. And then she was just kind of starting to realize what was going on, because she wasn't trying to do EVP. This was happening organically. Now, in this next one, she did not even hear this until I pointed it out to her several days later.
And just says that he knows that you would do anything to have him back, and you would even be just to be with him. But he says you still have a lot of work to do, and you're doing it. But it also feels like I know he's saying that you feel like you're not doing enough. And he says, chill out, Mom.
I just love that. You can literally hear Kyle's voice saying, doing it, literally. And she didn't hear that when she was doing this reading. 2 days later, after I listened to the tape closely, I said, Suzanne, you have to listen to the tape right at this spot. And when she listened, she's like, she called Ty, her husband's name is Ty. Ty, you got to come over and listen to this. This is the first time this has ever happened to Suzanne. So it really took her by surprise. But since then, I think this has happened several other times, but this was the first time this has ever happened. So it's just amazing. And here's a picture of me and Suzanne this year, like a few weeks ago in Salt Lake City. And yes, I'm short and Suzanne is tall. So the other guest I had on my show that has a very strong, she's a researcher, she's a Brazilian researcher, and she does different experiments and she's been getting images of our loved ones from the afterlife. These images, she has it's an e-magazine, and in several different e-magazine, Kyle has come in the different experiments that she has been doing. Kyle has come to her, but my favorite one is this one right here. This was just before I was on a Zoom meeting with Sonia and a few other moms. It wasn't just me, but it was about 4 or 5 of us moms were on a Zoom meeting with Sonia, and Sonia has this mist machine behind her and she's recording, and you can clearly see Kyle's image in the mist of the behind her. So that's my absolute favorite one. Okay, and then this I got just a few months ago. One of the things I love to do is mentor anyone, but I really enjoy mentoring parents that have children in spirit. And I've been mentoring a couple in the UK, and their son Wesley transitioned in February of 2020, and he was only 13 years old. He just didn't wake up. And they've been very, very distraught, especially this year was going to be his second anniversary in spirit. They were feeling really, really down, and they knew I had a connection with Sonia. So that they asked me to reach out to Sonia for them, and I did. And so Sonia did begin getting images of Wesley. You can see Wesley in the corner with the yellow border around him. And then this image came through with Wesley and the dog. And so Sonia sent it to them, this picture, to them and to me. And I didn't see it. I didn't open the email right away. But so Sonia's asking them, who's the dog? And the couple is like, I don't know who that dog is. And then when I opened it, I said, that's my Coco. And I sent the picture of Coco to Sonia after I told her that's Coco. And so Coco came because dad is very skeptical. So Coco came through in the image with their son Wesley to show the connection. I connected them with Sonia, and Coco's like, hey, Ma. And I think Coco just loves to be seen and heard. So now you've seen Coco from spirit, and you've heard Coco in spirit. Same thing with Kyle. You've seen Kyle from spirit, and you've heard Kyle from spirit. So this was just too amazing. So here's a picture of Sonia and I. Now, Sonia and I are the same height. Here's a picture of Sonia and I at We Don't Die conference in Boston, and that was January of 2019. And we were having fun. You see the glass of wine in my hand. Okay. Now, who we are. Like I said, we are sovereign divine beings of light, and we are unique. We're holographic, we're multidimensional aspects of God, all that is source. I say all that is. So I want to, in the next few slides, I want to break down each of those words. Unique aspect of God, meaning no two are the same, like no two butterflies are the same, no two snowflakes are the same, no two people are the same, no two people have this exact same perspectives. Maybe we have similar, we can agree on some things and we don't agree. No two people agree on everything. So the important thing to understand when it comes to perspectives is to allow everybody their own perspective. It may not be yours, and you don't have to agree with it. You have your unique perspective. Allow the other person to have their unique perspective without fighting or arguing or debating. And I say, I don't, people are like, well, what's wrong with debating? Debating means that means that there's got to be a winner at the end of the debate. No, it's okay. I've had conversations for hours with people I don't agree with and they don't agree with me. At the end of the conversation, we're hugging and loving each other because they're not trying to force their perspective on me. I am not trying to force my perspective on them. And to me, an argument, a fight, and a debate is about trying to force someone to agree with your viewpoint. And that never has to be. You can allow someone their viewpoint and agree to disagree in love and light and keep it moving. So I'm one of the new things I'm doing with my show is about that. It's about having two people that disagree come on my show and have a conversation, not a debate, not a fight. I lay down those laws. Okay, so we are unique. Unity within diversity. That is how we get to world peace. All religions, all people, all cultures, all colors, all everything, because we know that our body is just a temporary vehicle for this reality anyway. We've all lived in every color of skin there is. We've all lived every belief, every religion there is. We've been it all. So there's no reason for us to divide because of color or religion or anything, politics or anything. Unity within diversity is the key to world peace. We are holographic cells of God, meaning, like my favorite quote is Rumi, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. You are all of God in a drop, not a piece of God, all of God. We are all God creating our reality. I mean, I'm not creating your reality. You are. I'm creating my reality. Each of us is God creating our own reality. And we're interconnected, we're one, and we're holographic cells of God. Multidimensional means there is no time. All there is the now. The time is just a measurement here in the 3D matrix. Even science, again, we know that Einstein said time is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. He said that over 100 years ago. Stephen Hawking, who recently passed, he discovered, and I don't know how scientists do this, but he, as a scientist, proved that this now moment can change the past, can affect the past, what we call the past, and the future, the now moment. I'll say that again. And how he discovered it, he did. In his experiments, he discovered that the now can affect what we call the past, and the now can affect what we call the future. All there is the now. One of my favorite books also is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Love that book. Gotta check it out. Your power is in the now moment. Meaning we are, I don't say reincarnation. I don't use that term anymore, because we are living every single life that we ever lived, what we call past or future. Every life we have ever lived, we're living here and now. And this now moment that you're living now affects every life that you've ever lived or will live or are living. It's hard to say because it's all happening now. So when you are feeling joyful in this now moment, that joy is radiating out to all of your lifetimes. And sometimes you may not, sometimes you ever feel like, you just feel like, oh, I just feel really good for some odd reason. That means maybe something happened in another lifetime that made you feel really joyful, and you're feeling it in this lifetime. Because all there is the now, that we're living simultaneous lives, not past and future lives. We only call it past and future in this 3D matrix because we're using that measurement of time in this matrix. Being an awake creator. Okay, so I say being a awake creator because we're always creating, regardless if you're awake or asleep. You are a creator being, but the being awake, you are being aware. You know you are a creator being. You know you're creating your reality, that life is not happening to you, life is happening through you. And you own that you are creating your reality. You don't blame, okay, it's my mother's fault. No, it's my father's fault. Oh, it's my brother's fault. Oh, it's my kid's fault. You don't blame anybody. You own your experience. You own your life you're creating. Okay, then you relax into that feeling of knowing in the now moment that you are creating your reality, no matter what is going on in that now moment. You can take a deep breath and relax into that moment, whether it's something, maybe you just witnessed an accident, or maybe you just had an accident. Thank goodness, if you're still here, you didn't leave your body, you're still with your body, you just had an accident. You take a deep breath and relax into that moment and not freak out, basically, is what I'm saying. Is, the now moment is where your power is. So whenever things feel like they're starting to get crazy, come back to your breath and come back to the now. Because when you focus on your breath, you're coming to that now moment, relaxing to that now moment. And then choosing how you want to feel. Meaning, don't just respond or react to what just happened. You step back, take a few breaths, and choose what you want to see happen in that next moment. So you choose the feeling you want in that now, and then you find a vibrational match to how you want to feel. So you try to raise your frequency, and every now moment, I keep that on my mind. I keep in my mind's eye, okay, when I say it's a moment to moment thing, and I've always said this from day one, in every now moment, we have to remind ourselves who we are. We have to remind ourselves that we are creating what's happening and not judge it. So don't label what's happening. There are no such things as accidents. Something happens, it's happening, and that's the other thing. Whatever is happening in your now moment, you created for your highest good. No matter what it is, you created it for your highest good. So you own it. Then you say, I know I'm creating this moment right here and now for my highest good, and I will look for the good in that moment. And then you try, that's how you raise your frequency, by looking for the good in every now moment, because every now moment is a blessing. Every now moment is a blessing. And when We just complain and, oh, boo-hoo, always me, it's somebody else's fault. Da, 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 da. That's very low frequency. And you are the creator of that moment, but you're trying to say that you're not. So that's why these are 5 steps in being awake, that you are creating that moment. Science has proven that we live in a 3D matrix, which is a virtual reality. This has been proven scientifically. Okay, everything I'm grounded in, science has already proven. Okay, so it's just science and spirituality bridging. So basically, I've never, ever experienced a virtual reality, that stuff. But science has proven that this 3D matrix that we call Earth, the life that we're living now, is a virtual reality. I call it the 3D matrix. Okay, now here are people with those headsets on, experiencing a virtual reality. This I've never done. I don't know if I want to try it, but I've never done this. But anyway, so our world that we call solid is a virtual reality. And it's one that we are creating. We're creating our own reality, nobody else's. Everyone, every sovereign being is creating their own reality, and you are creating yours. Everything you experience, you are creating. It's just like those headsets. Now, when you're ready to escape the 3D matrix, all you have to do is take off the headset, okay? And the headset is the illusion of separation, okay? So when you take off that headset, that illusion of separation, and you look at the world, everything in it and everyone in it as a part of you and a part of God. That is how you take off the 3D matrix virtual reality headset, and you start living your life from the truth of who you truly are. So that is, I might try one of those things one of these days. Okay, wait. So when you do that, when you take off the goggles of separation, and you awaken to the truth of universal oneness, you wake up in the dream of your own creation. Now, many here have had near-death experiences, and they have experienced what I'm talking about. When you leave your body, you realize that was a dream. What I just left was a dream of my own creation. So what we want to do while we still have a body, while we still have our avatar, our what I call our spacesuit, while we still have it, we want to wake up in the dream. And that's living your life to the fullest, because you become the master of your destiny. You decide to turn a nightmare into heaven on earth. And we all have that ability in every now moment. We have the ability to change the dream, because we know we're the dreamer and we're creating it. We're the dream and the dreamer. And we can step back, become the observer. I liked in the opening meditation. Yes, step back. Sometimes just step back and become the observer. Interesting movie I'm creating here. Okay. You don't have to be so attached to it, and you can change it at will. Okay. Now, we are always looking outside of ourselves for a guru. But you know what? You are your own guru. Remember, the outer world is the dream of your own creation. The outer world is an illusion. The outer world is not real. The only thing real is you, your inner world. That is the only thing real. So you're looking in the outer world for a guru when that's not where you're going to find. Now, you can read a book, you can find a teacher, you can go to lectures, you can go to workshops. All that stuff is good. But all those things should be pointing you to you. I always say I inspire, my mission is to inspire others to go within and tap into the truth within them. Truth is not going to be found outside of you. It's in you. You are your own guru. And there's nothing wrong with going to lectures and workshop and reading books and following a particular teacher. There's nothing wrong with that, because that teacher should be leading you back to you, because you are your own guru. Only you know what's right for you. Okay. And we also look outside of ourselves for a savior. No one can save us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. It's against universal law. Universal law, we would not grow spiritually. We came here for an experience, and part of that experience is to wake up and remember, to wake up in the dream. We came here to remember who we are and to wake up in the dream. And nobody can do that for you. We can learn from others, we can be guided by others, but all awakening is an inside job. It comes from, and nobody can save us. If somebody, okay, I thought of this analogy. Say you have a toddler, like 3 toddlers playing in the bedroom, and they make a mess of the bedroom. And you're like, oh, let me go in there and I'll clean up behind them. So you clean up behind them. Did they learn to clean up? If you did the cleaning, if you saved them from their mess, are they going to learn? So then you're like, okay, now you say to the toddler, okay, I cleaned up, now keep it clean. And then you go out again and they're back. You come back. It's going to be basically, if someone tries to save another person and do it for them, that other person is not going to learn, and they're just going to make the same mess again. So no, there is, and I know Christians might have an issue with this. There are no saviors other than you, but it's true. Okay. Okay, true happiness comes from within. True happiness does not come from a new car, a new house, even a new boyfriend, a new girlfriend, none of that. Nothing outside of you can bring you true peace, true happiness, true joy comes from within. And there's no greater feeling, I can tell you, because there's times I'm just so happy. For it's raining now and I'm still happy. It rained all day and I'm still happy. So my outer situation does not depend on the joy and peace that I have within. So that is basically, let me stop sharing the screen now. Hi, y'all. So I love questions. I just love questions. If anybody has any questions, I would love it. I can't hear you. You're good. Okay.
Wow. Awesome. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, I hope everybody enjoyed it. But truly, I love questions. So
Yeah, so I have a few questions that people have been sending to me. And
Okay.
also you guys are Susan or Lorelei, if you can open up the chat, people can put their questions in the chat, but let's start with a few. Okay, how about let's start with you. What
Okay.
do you do to stay grounded and focus on oneness, especially like we're in this crazy dream?
Yes.
And
Yes.
like the other day, you got involved in the dream, right? With
Yeah.
your all that, stuff, the
Yeah.
conspiracy and all that stuff. What do we do? I mean, all of this stuff is real, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, what you were indicating about was I actually worked on a project. I normally do projects solo. But this time I got involved with the project and it wasn't a vibrational match, which I didn't find out until we were knee deep in the project. So I realized I have to now it was a great learning experience, more discernment, especially certain projects that you really want someone that's more vibrational match to you on certain projects. So this project was near and dear to my heart. And I really wanted a person that was more a vibrational match to me. I thought they were, but when we're knee deep in the project, I'm like, okay, I see, it's all good, no judgment. I have nothing but love and respect for this person, no judgment at all. We're just not a vibrational match. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong by saying, I love that person. I send that love and light to that person. I want nothing but the best for that person. But as far as working on a project together, that's not going to happen. But again, it's a moment to moment thing. Okay, for some of the things I do, you know what I did last night, the other night, it wasn't 2 nights ago. I soak in the tub in salt water, which is I use Himalayan salt and Dead Sea salt. I have a jacuzzi tub with the skylight above it. Sometimes I could even see the moon from the tub. And I sent Sean the pictures the other day, but I soak in the tub. I try to do that, if not weekly, twice a month, where I just relax. So I have high vibrational meditation music on. I light my candles. So I do that. I try to meditate at least once a day. I've been doing a new thing called sun gazing, but it has another name to it. It's called solar yoga. I've always would love to sit at the lake and watch the sunset, but I didn't know that it's really, really good for you. And now I'm doing it more intentionally, where I'm really gazing at the sun as it sets. And I did that like last week every day, just gaze. So sun gazing at sunset. And I love sun gazing at sunset at the lake. So that's another thing. And I meditate as much as possible. Whenever I feel like I'm overwhelmed or stressed, I don't care what I'm doing. I just stop and I'll find a nice quiet corner, take a few deep breaths. I like another thing. Now, this may be too much information, but I like to do that. Whenever I go potty, I like to just, I do. It's like, okay, this is the one place, nobody's, even if you work in an office, nobody's going to disturb you in the bathroom. So I always take a few, when I'm sitting on the throne, I'm always taking a few deep breaths, because when I deep breathe is bringing me into the now moment. And the now moment is your point of power. So trying to stay present as much as possible throughout the day is important to me.
That was my mom's temple.
Okay.
So how to, like, in your experience
Yes.
that you happened this weekend, talk about judgment versus discernment, because a lot of people think, oh, I can't judge anybody, but they don't really understand the difference.
Yes, it is very important. Discernment is really, you're thinking about it by frequency. You're thinking that this person's frequency is not a match to my frequency. And even if you say that, you don't have to say that to them, because they may not understand it. And they, oh my goodness, I just thought of it. It happened to me. I said to someone, and all I said is, I swear, I wish I had this on tape. All I said is, we're very different. And this person went berserk on me. Seriously, and all I said, those were my exact words. We're very different. Those are my exact, and they went berserk. So sometimes, and I am very careful with the words I use. So I would just say to, if you have to say anything at all, we're just not a vibrational match, but I wish you all the best. I still love you. Certain things maybe we can hang out and do together, that's not a judgment at all. A judgment is when you condemn. Oh, that person's horrible. I don't want that person near me ever. And, that's condemnation and condemning someone. That's judgment. But when you just say, we need to not do that, work on that together, because we're just not a vibrational match, that's fine. And some people may not understand that. So you just you could do it without saying it. You have to be the judge on what feels comfortable to say to a person or not. But only you will know in your heart if you're really judging or just using discernment, because there is a difference. And now if you're really thinking, oh, that person's horrible, ooh, then that's a judgment. If you think, not quite a vibrational match to me, it's okay, So
yeah, and it's about frequency. I
Yes.
mean, we're not judging when you say low vibe versus
Right.
high vibe. Because
exactly,
it's just about frequency.
it is.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Yes.
So
yes.
we have several people here, or at least a
Mhm.
few,
Okay.
that have lost loved ones
Mhm.
and children. I don't think you talked about your state of mind, where you were at when Kyle transitioned.
I
And
did.
you did? Okay, well, maybe talk
I
more
can
about
say
that.
it
Yeah, because I think that's really important,
yes.
especially because a lot of people, they hang on to grief.
Yes.
And what could you say to the mothers, the fathers that are in the audience, siblings that have
Yes.
lost
Loved ones. I can say it isn't easy. It's not an easy thing. I was very blessed. I was blessed because I know that my son stayed. I believe his time was in December of 2011. And he stayed. I actually wrote, where's the book? I wrote a chapter in detail. We Touched Heaven. My chapter is called Miracle on 34th Street, because it was Christmas time and the hospital was on 34th Street. Now, and that is the hospital he transitioned in, but 3 years later. And in the summer, wasn't Christmas time when he transitioned. I know that I was granted a miracle when I tried to take my life, because I wrote a suicide note. I wrote a note and I said, I'm not burying my son. My son is going to bury me. I wanted them to give him my heart. And when I was trying to commit suicide. And so I didn't die. He pulled himself off life support. I whispered, this part maybe I didn't say in this presentation, I whispered in his ear. I was on 24-hour suicide watch, and I whispered in his ear, I said, Kyle, please get better so we can both go home. That night, he pulled himself off life support. So we went home that time, but 3 years after that, he was going back into the hospital. And I promised God, because I was blessed with 3 more years. I promised God, I said, I don't know what's going to happen this time, but I I hope I can bring him home this time. But at the moment of Kyle's transition, I was at complete peace. I truly was, because I knew he wasn't going anywhere. That was a knowing. I knew it was his soul's time. I know there is no accident. Every soul comes into this life experience in perfect divine timing, and every soul leaves this life experience in perfect divine timing. And it's very, very, very hard for a parent, because I said that before I lost my child, before I lost Kyle years ago, years before I lost Kyle, I would say the worst thing anybody could ever go through is to have their son transition before them. I said that many times before I experienced it myself. So it's very hard to really understand that you and your child had that soul agreement. You, before your birth, you and that child had that soul agreement that they were going to come and they weren't going to be here that long, and that you were going to stay. And like I was saying about our greatest challenges, and that of course is the greatest challenge anyone ever can go through, is the transition of a child. There's no other situation that can be more difficult. I mean, we love our parents, but we expect our parents to go before us, but not our children. And so that is a soul agreement that you and that child made. And you're here for a very, very important reason, because you're here. Everybody on the planet, everybody breathing right now is here for a very important reason. So what I say is, your child isn't gone, and your child wants to see you happy. Your child wants so much. First of all, your child is always trying to communicate with you. And it's hard for your child to communicate with you if you are at a very low frequency, if you're at a very low vibration. They have to, just to communicate with you at all in spirit, they have to lower their frequency. Many people said what Kyle did in that reading with Suzanne took a lot of energy for him to literally speak through her computer like that. But for them to communicate, they have to low. So you have to kind of try to meet them halfway, meaning you have to raise your frequency. Think of the good times. They want you to remember them and think of the good times. And I have this connection with Kyle. I know when he's laughing with me, I know he's here right now, especially when I'm doing, he's told me he's very proud of the show. He's the co-host of the show. He's always there when I'm recording a show. I know he's right here now. And I can tell when he's like, I'll be walking around the house, cleaning or something, doing something around the house, and I'll do something silly. And I can, in my heart, I can hear Kyle laughing at me. And I'll say, Kyle, stop laughing at your mama. Things that seriously. And it's this earring. I lost this earring. And I know Kyle found it. This earring was in Kyle's room, hanging. You know how you have the light switch, right? Up and down. It was hanging on his. How the heck did an earring get on his light switch? I was like, thank you, Kyle. I was like, our kids are, there's so much evidence that our loved ones are not gone. And our children, Kyle has said to me in the reading that Mom, I wouldn't have done anything different. He said, Mom, not rushing you, but when it's your time to come cross over, I'm giving you the tour. I mean, our kids they want us to be happy. They want us to do what we came here for, because we all came here for a soul purpose. And if we're still here, that means our soul purpose is not done, and we have work to do. And they want us to be happy and do the work that we came here for.
Right. And part of the purpose, it was just to come for a short time, right?
Yeah, yes. I mean, Yes. Sometimes some babies will say, I just want to stick my toe in, and they're only here for a few days or a few months. It's a soul plan. No soul leaves here. There are no accidents. That we think in our humanness that it's an accident or you died too young, all of that, that's just the humanness where we don't realize we're creating this dream. And we made these contracts with our soul, with our children and our parents. We made a great book, a really, really good book for understanding all of this. Is a children's book. And the name of it is The Little Soul in the Sun by Neil Donald Walsh. It's a children's book. I have it, it's downstairs. I bought it for my grandson. But you can hear it. They have the audio book on YouTube. You can hear the whole audiobook for free on YouTube, The Little Soul in the Sun. And it's a great book it explains how we make these soul contracts before we're born.
Yeah. Okay, so you talk about the dream, that we're all in this dream, we're creating the dream. So what do you say to the people that are going through immense challenges and physical illnesses? And you know how a lot of people might use that to beat themselves up?
Yes.
Or other people might blame it on to use it to be power over another person or judge another person's. What have you been thinking about yourself to create that? Explain how we might create these things for our good or for other people's good. That it's not necessarily bad karma or thinking the wrong thoughts, not doing enough affirmations.
Yes.
Explain that.
No, you're absolutely right. It's everything we experience, everything is our creation. It's our creation on the other side before we're born. And here we have another great book is Your Soul's Plan and Your Soul's Gift by Robert Schwartz. He was my very first guest. Matter of fact, I was talking to Robert, communicating with him by email while Kyle was on life support when Kyle did transition. But before he transitioned, I was in Kyle's ICU room and I Googled Your Soul's Plan. And it comes up, and that's the name of his book. So I found Robert Schwartz. I wrote him. I explained to him where I was in the ICU with my son, and he wrote to me right back. And he ended up being my first guest. But we make these soul plans, even illness, just like the death of a child, illnesses, sometimes children are born deformed. All of that, we plan it. Everything, and we plan it for our highest good. And it could be for our highest good and the highest good of others around us. Because say if someone's born with Down syndrome or something of that nature, that was their soul's plan, but it wasn't just for their highest good, for their soul's highest good. They came to help others around them love and accept them exactly for who they are, because that's what we come here to love, regardless of what a person's ailment is or their deformity. We love them exactly for who they are. And sometimes we have angels that are born deformed to show us how to love, to teach us how to love unconditionally.
Beautiful. Well said. And so some of us may have incurable diseases or so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Healing doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to heal the body or the disease, right? It's what we think about, that healing our mind and the way we.
Well, the healing, it's like this. When we truly wake up in the dream, we are at peace with what is. We are at complete peace. Nothing outside of us needs to bring us peace and joy. So us being completely healed physically doesn't have to happen to bring us peace and joy. Me meeting my soulmate, hey, if you're out there, anyway. doesn't have to happen to bring me peace and joy. So when you're truly fully awake in the dream, the outer, whatever is going on in the outside, whether it's relationships, whether it's loss, physical loss of a loved one, whether it's financial hardship, none of these things matter when you wake up in the dream, completely wake up in the dream. You're at peace. So you're at peace with the isness of life.
Well said. So you would say that surrendering
Yes.
is what can bring about spiritual awakening. When we surrender to what is,
Yes.
to the now,
To the now.
without judging it,
Yes.
that's when we can have an awakening.
Yes.
Is that what you're?
Yes. And I like, surrender's okay, but you know what I like is a word better than surrender, allowing. I like allowing what is to be. That's what I like.
And in many ways, that's actually all forgiveness is. Just
Yes.
allow people to be who they are and quit trying to expect them to be something different.
Exactly.
Just allow.
Exactly.
Sometimes we get confused with what forgiveness really is.
Exactly. And in truth, because there is no separation. When we forgive another, we're forgiving ourselves. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, that is so true and so hard because especially, now we've got this separation with the politics and the
Yes.
races
Yes.
and different conspiracy theory groups like, oh, you're wrong. And it's like, it's like even in these spiritual groups, there's this,
Yes.
the need, I guess it's the ego, right?
Oh,
This
yeah.
need to always cause separation.
That's the virus, the ego. The virus is the ego. I said this, and I say this all the time, and I said this on not the show this weekend, but a few shows ago. I said the virus is the ego, and the illness, because we know a virus causes an illness. The virus ego causes the illness. I have to be right-itis. No, you don't. You don't have to be right. Yes, so it's about allowing something. I actually, because I have two relatives, I asked this question. Can you have a conversation, not an argument, not a debate, not a fight, but can you have a conversation with someone you disagree with? Now, one of my relatives said, nope, can't do it. Can't do it. And I was like, I appreciated the honesty. The other relative didn't answer the question. The answer was the same, but they just refused to answer the question. So that's what my whole new series is about, which is called Truth and Freedom. Can we please have a conversation? A conversation. And I don't expect people to be in agreement at the end of the conversation, but at least have respect. If not love and respect, but at least respect for each other at the end of the conversation. Yes.
That is so beautiful. Okay, so you talked about being your own savior. And this is another thing that a lot of us, especially people that have had NDEs and spiritual awakenings,
right?
They think they're out to, their job is to save everyone else. And everyone else is going to wake up in this lifetime. What do you say about that? So, because as you know, many NDErs, they have messages and going to share stuff. But what about people that are not here to wake up? What do you say about that?
Well, I believe every NDEer, they get a message, they should follow that message. But that message doesn't mean that they're going to be anybody's savior. They are their savior. All we can do is inspire. And that's why I use the word inspire. My purpose is to inspire another to go within, because it's that to have them go within is where they're going to find all their answers is within them. And all I can do is guide them back to themselves. So yes, if people come back with messages, yes, share those messages. Start a podcast, write a book, whatever, share those messages. But it's nobody's job to save another. The perfect example was the kids. Remember, you like, oh, well, let me clean up behind the kids. Oh, and then they won't mess up again. Really? Right. They didn't learn the lesson. If you keep doing it for them, we can't save anybody. And we're not supposed to save anybody. We're supposed to save ourselves and then share our love and in love and light what we've learned, so we can help guide them to themselves, to save themselves. And I say, I know, because I've lost fundamental Christian friends in my life since I started my Awake to Oneness Radio, because I had channels on my show, and things of that nature. Traditional Christians were like, oh no. So I was like, what are you afraid of? Really. But I know that in traditional Christian religion, Jesus is supposed to be our savior. I love Jesus. I have Jesus autobiography over there. Okay. I love Jesus, Yeshua, love him to death. He was awake. He was a completely awakened being 2,000 years ago. And a lot of the teachings of Yeshua, Jesus, was misconstrued by the church. Sometimes, some of it deliberately misconstrued by the church.
By men with egos.
Yes, that wasn't
for
Jesus.
Power.
Right. Now, that wasn't Jesus. He didn't do that. But he was an awakened being, and he was teaching unconditional love. That was the teachings of Jesus. He didn't say, I'm going to come back and save you. That was, it's like, no, Jesus said, you will do what I have done and more. That's what Jesus said. So, yes. So people, I don't want anybody to get mad at me, because I have respect for all religions. I have the utmost respect for everybody's religion. But some of what the church, which man has injected man to control, to use for control. But if you read the Bible for yourself, there is some great lessons in the Bible, but read it for yourself, interpret it for yourself. Don't let anybody do the interpreting for you.
Yeah, and it's almost arrogance to think that we need to save everybody.
Right.
Our job is just to come and save ourselves.
Yes.
And then, like Gandhi says, be the example.
Be the light.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's so you've already talked about a little bit about meditation and stuff.
Right.
What's the biggest thing that you could think of that people that are feeling separate and alone? What is the best way for people to, number one, know that they're not alone?
They're never
but also
alone.
To connect to the oneness. What do you have to say about that?
Well, the other things I do is I journal. I have 3 daily journals. I have an affirmation journal where I always start an affirmation with I am. See, I am. I always say, because in the present. So I have an affirmation journal where I write, I am love. I am peace. I am completely healthy. I am abundant. I write my affirmation journal. Then I have just a journal where I write down my thoughts. And then I have a journal where what's the third one? How is that? I'm looking at the 3 of them. I've got 3 of them. Oh, appreciation. There it goes. Okay. Then I have an appreciation journal where I just write down the things I'm thankful for in that now moment. My appreciation journal, I like to write in first thing in the morning. And I just write down, if it's a rainy day, I'm thankful for the rain. I write down what I'm thankful. So I journal. That's another way to help keep me. So meditation, journaling, sun gazing, baths in hot salt water, drinking a lot as far as keeping the physical body healthy, because it's mind, body, and soul. So you want to make sure you're mentally healthy, physically healthy, and spiritually healthy. I drink a lot of spring water. I have my spring water here. I am flexitarian 5 days a week. 5 days a week, I'm keto vegetarian, but 2 days a week, I do allow myself to have organic meat, organic chicken, organic turkey, or wild caught fish on Saturday and Sunday. So I'm a flexitarian, but mainly vegetarian. So I try to eat healthy. I try to exercise every day. I do yoga. I love hot yoga. I haven't been able to get up there since the whole COVID thing. I haven't been to hot yoga, which is up in Scranton, but I love hot yoga. But yes, Cynthia has her hand up.
Yeah. And by the way, just to highlight, gratitude is what you've kind of been saying. The state of gratitude gets us in the place to receive more.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so Cynthia had a question about what is sun gazing. Was there something else you had to ask, Cynthia?
No, that was my question. I didn't know quite how to do it, but I just figured it out.
Okay, yes. Sundays, you want to do that at either sunset or sunrise. I'm never up at sunrise, so I do that.
Oh, wait, you muted yourself. You muted yourself.
They muted me.
Somebody muted you.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I love going to the lake at sunset and watching the sun, but I'm doing it now more deliberately. Matter of fact, on my YouTube channel, I put a lot of I love creating videos. And I create a lot of inspirational message videos. And one of them that I just posted a week ago, it's called Solar Yoga. And it's an ancient practice. And now when I do it, I gaze without blinking. I'm gazing at the sun as it's going lower and lower and lower until it disappears. And I'm doing it more deliberately now. And I just started that about a week ago when I heard this message that I turned into a video. So if I try to post messages at least 3 or 4 times, they're really beautiful channel messages that I create a video with, because I like creating video. I like creating PowerPoints and I like creating videos. I like that's my paintbrush is the computer. So check it out. There is a video on my YouTube, Awake to Oneness Radio YouTube channel, and the title of it is Solar Yoga. And see, people will think of it as doing yoga at sunset, but no, solar yoga is gazing at the sun.
Yeah. Cynthia, was there something else? Your hand went back up.
Yes. You said you gave the channel, your YouTube channel, too quickly. What is the name of your?
Oh, it's Awake to the number 2.
Okay.
Awake to Oneness Radio. That's the
Perfect.
YouTube channel. Yes.
Thank you. I will check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, and she has amazing speakers. Marianne Williamson.
Yes.
Many course students are here. Which, by the way, just so everybody knows, as you noticed, Caroline speaks A Course in Miracles Principles and Way of Mastery and many spiritual books. And Yogananda, the Principles SRF. However, she's not read any of those books. She tried to read A Course in Miracles, right? But as we discussed, truth is truth, wherever it's found and whatever path you're on. And so, but she has, her radio show which is a podcast, even though it's called radio. And you can see it on YouTube. And she has the most amazing speakers, right? And what's his name? Is it Procter or Gamble from Thrive?
Yes. Procter Gamble, yes. It's many. I mean, Neil Donald Walsh, so many now. I can't even think of them.
Many huge, amazing people.
Yes.
And Caroline also does mentoring. So you can message her and she does mentoring.
Yes.
And she just doesn't stop. She is always doing amazing things.
Yeah, I'm just following my heart. And I decided, like I said, I was inspired 6 months after my son's transition, middle of the night. My higher self said, just do it. And the just do it was to launch. At that time, I didn't never even heard of the word podcast. That's why it's called radio, because it was audio. And when I started with Blog Talk Radio, I'm still on Blog Talk Radio, which is audio only. But Spirit said, start an internet radio show. That is what Spirit told me. And Spirit said to found a foundation in my son's honor, which all I've done so far with the foundation is incorporated as a nonprofit organization here in Pennsylvania, the Kyle Foundation. Kyle stands for Keep Your Light Expanding, Kyle, Keep Your Light Expanding. Kyle gave me his name before he was born. I did not know what to name Kyle. When I was about 8 months pregnant, Kyle whispered to me from Spirit, Kyle. I got that name and I woke up one morning, I'm like, oh, his name is Kyle. He gave me that name. Yes, he did.
And he came here to support you on your awakening and to
guide
you throughout it, because I don't know if everyone caught that, but you're in constant communication with your son.
Yes. And it's a heart communication. I don't claim to be a medium or anything like that. I know when he is communicating and what he's saying to me through the heart.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, is it Ejiva or Ehiva? Sorry if I just butchered it. Do you have a question?
She's muted.
I'm muted. There you go.
Yeah, aloha, Caroline. I'm Eva, and I'm just fascinated by what you shared with us. I was wondering, how is your son and your dog able to project themselves into the third dimension when they have transitioned?
That was it. I've been told that took a lot of energy for them to do it, a lot of energy, because they do have to lower. They're at such a higher frequency where they are. They have to really lower their frequency to do that. Like I said, it was all spontaneous. Now there are people that try to do EVP readings. They use what is called gibberish, broken, like audio, English. They'll take like syllables and whatnot, and they actually try to do what is called EVP, electronic voice phenomena. That was not what was happening. She just gifted me on his birthday. And here's the thing, she gifted me a reading on his birthday because her guides, Sanaya, Suzanne Giesman, if you don't know her, you need to look her up. She's amazing. But she's not only just a medium, but she's also a channel. And she channels her guides, which are called Sanaya. Sanaya had told her before she even got my email that she was doing this reading on Thanksgiving Day for a mom that had a son in spirit. So and then as soon as she got my email, she knew it was me. And she gifted me that reading on Thanksgiving Day on his birthday. So all that synchronicity, which we know there are no coincidences, that synchronicity, it was meant to be. And now she's had readings like that. Now since then, that was November 24th, 2016. And since then she has had other readings that has happened. She doesn't try to do EVP. If it happens organically and naturally. And that was truly his voice. It was so amazing.
And Suzanne's going to be a speaker in the next few months, hopefully.
Yes, that's true.
So you're here in Hawaii, right?
Yes, I am. I'm wondering if are other people who have transitioned able to communicate with us?
Yes, because also in addition to what Caroline was saying about they, lower, and we raise our vibrations, but also, so like here in Hawaii, and of course many other places, but here in Hawaii, we have like portals where the energy is stronger. For me, it was Wa'ahila Ridge is one of the places, and Manoa Valley, because you're in Oahu, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so like Manoa Valley, there's a lot of places where it's easier for them and easier for us if we don't know, if we haven't learned.
Right.
But yes, our loved ones, I will just say, are speaking to us all the time.
Yes, they are.
We just, it's up to us to hear them. They're all here to help us. They want us to know that they're around. It's just up to us to shut our thoughts down enough to listen and to raise our frequency, like Caroline is saying with all of the things. Caroline, so somebody asked from Facebook, and you've already kind of spoken about it, but again, because I think, what was it? The yoga, so the benefits of solar yoga.
Oh, it's amazing. They got, you know what, the best thing, honestly, is my YouTube channel, and I posted it last week. It's called Solar Yoga, and it's an ancient technique. And this 9-minute video explains it from beginning to end. So I recommend anybody go to Awake to Oneness Radio YouTube channel, and it's like the 3rd or 4th one in. It's really a great one. And so if one of the hosts could go to my YouTube channel and copy the link and paste it in the chat. I probably could do that, couldn't I? Let's see. Can I?
Yes, yeah.
I think I can.
And I'll do it.
You know what?
as
I'm gonna
well
do that. I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna
okay, yeah.
I'm gonna do that. Okay. All right.
So who else has questions for Caroline?
I am going to get that one. All right, where is it? I'm listening.
Well, actually on her website too, right on the front page, because we fixed that just the other day. Right above her picture is the link to all her social media. There's the YouTube, the Facebook, Twitter.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, but I've got the link for that particular one.
Okay,
right,
just stick it in the chat.
Let me go back to Zoom. Okay, and stick it in the chat. Chat's over here. Okay, and okay, this is gonna go out to everybody. There we go. All righty, that is it. Yeah, I did something.
Okay, so
Okay.
Eva has another question, and feel free. Go ahead.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
It's not really a question, but a phenomena happened to me when I was thinking. I was taking a shower, and in my head, I said, Dad, if you really want me to come and take care of you in Tahiti, show me a sign. And all of a sudden, I heard a crash, and the glass from the glass door of the shower lift up and jumped 2 feet and broke the louver.
Oh my goodness. Wow, that's a sign, I would say.
And water is a conduit.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes the shower can be our best portal, temple, whatever. I don't know why, but water is a conduit.
That was pretty wild. Yeah.
Yeah, you should come you haven't been to our sharing group. You should come to our sharing group and share and let us know, keep talking to him and let us know how it works. But definitely when you have those experiences, count it as a yes, because then you move yourself into the frequency that it's already happening. That's true manifestation, and you'll just invite more.
Yes, exactly. A lot of times that's exactly right. A lot of times, I mean, our loved ones are communicating with us all the time. And so many times we will ignore the signs or say, oh no, that couldn't be. If ever you get a sign and your first thought is that's a sign, stay with the first thought. Don't overthink it. It's like, oh no. That's what most people do. Most people are so mesmerized by the 3D matrix that they don't open themselves up to these signs. You know, we gotta step back from that 3D matrix. We gotta take off those goggles sometime.
Yeah, sometimes we get caught up in the story.
Yes.
A lot of NDEers get caught up in the story.
Mhm.
I look at it's like they trade one story for another one.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we always are having to watch out to not get caught up in the story.
Right.
Like you're
Very
like
true.
so what, let's see, we're going on about 2 hours. How are you doing on energy?
Oh, I'm fine. You know me.
So do we have any more questions for Caroline? I've gotten several messages that everybody is so happy that you stuck around.
Oh, of course.
Because so many, again, we have people here and that, they lose loved ones and they feel like there's no reason to live anymore. And they don't
Right.
even realize that maybe the loved one was here to support them in their growth.
Right.
And once they did whatever they're here to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. There's no accidents. Every soul leaves in perfect divine timing, no matter what age. It's perfect divine timing for that soul.
And things are happening for us, not to
Yes.
us, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Everything.
Cynthia, you have your hand up again.
Yes. I have two questions. What is Caroline's webpage? How do I find her? And how do I message Caroline as a mentor?
Oh, sure. Just go to my contact information is right there on the website. It is Awake to Oneness Radio. I'll put, you know what? Let me put the link.
That's the same.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's in the
that's-
chat.
Yeah.
So that
at
is
the
your
top.
webpage.
Yeah, at
Yes.
the top, there's a link for mentoring, isn't there?
Yeah, no, there's well, I think there
Yeah,
is.
it says mentoring somewhere.
Yeah,
I know
there
there's
is.
a tab.
There is. Yes,
If I can't-
there is a link for mentoring. You're absolutely right.
If I can't find you, I'll contact Sean and ask again.
Oh, you'll find her. Plus,
yeah.
she's at the sharing. She comes to our sharing group every week. You
Every-
come,
Yes,
Cynthia.
yes, I have seen you there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, she's
Good.
she's
Thank
always
you.
got
Thank you
golden
so much.
nuggets.
Yes,
Thank
I loved having you. I'm so very grateful that you stayed.
Oh, of course,
I appreciate that very much.
She has
Oh.
important work to do, and she's just getting
Yeah.
started, actually.
Yeah,
Jeez.
true. I do feel like, even though I've been doing my show for 8 years, I do feel like I'm just getting started. I'm gonna put the link to my website, which is waketonenessradio.org.
It's in there. It's in there.
It's in there.
Yeah, I keep putting it in.
You are okay. Okay. So let me come back to the screen. Okay.
And you're actually working on something really new that's kind of really cool. But since we have somebody else with their hand raised,
Oh,
what
Kathy.
both of you guys?
I don't want to answer her question.
Right. She's gonna have another one of those trick
That's
questions.
not nice.
Kathy, so come hold on a second. I'm gonna add you in. So
Okay.
you guys are also doing something really cool together. Is it okay if we share it here?
It's really Victoria's creation. We're just participating.
Yeah.
We don't really know enough to talk about, I don't think.
Well, with the concept.
Well, we can share the concept. Sure. The
You want
concept, the concept is a higher view, meaning taking the concept of the view, which I don't watch, and taking 5 ladies, me being one, Kathy being one, Victoria, Joan of Angels, and Gloria.
Gloria is somebody, yeah.
Yes. 5 of us ladies are gonna have like a view-like show, but it will be, the title of the show is The Higher View, which I really love that. So we'll be talking about the 3D matrix from the higher view perspective.
Right.
So there's no punching, nobody storms off the stage.
No, actually, probably if anyone has comments, they'll say we're unrealistic because we're definitely looking at life from the higher
What have they
view.
been smoking? They must be smoking some good stuff over there. Yeah.
Well, some of them might be, but the reason I wanted to speak is Caroline did not say anything about being a movie star. She has been in a documentary with Sonia Rinaldi.
Yeah.
That she did mention Sonia's work, but she's actually in the documentary. And you did a great job.
Thank you so
I
much.
wanted people to know that, because not only is she great at doing presentations and sharing the good news and helping other people get through difficult times, but she is a movie star.
And the name of the documentary is Rinaldi, Sonia's last name, and it is put out by if you go to We Don't Die Radio, which is Sandra
Champlain.
Yes, go to We Don't Die Radio, and then you can find the link to get to that film, Rinaldi.
Yeah, you just sort of buzzed right by that. I mean, I would think that's a big claim to fame, but
well, that's one of the things that's so beautiful about Caroline, is that she's not running around she's just trying around to spread oneness and love, and could care less, even though she is going to get an Oscar one of these days. She could care less about the fame. It's more about she's just here to help everybody wake up.
Yeah. I mean, imagine what the world's going to be like when we're all awake. We're just, oh my goodness, we're going to all have so much fun. So yes, we have to dream that dream. We have to turn this nightmare into heaven on earth. And we are going to do that in this lifetime. Yes, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're all here to do. We're all here.
The other thing I wanted everyone to know is I got to introduce Caroline at IONS. I'm a volunteer. And so I got to introduce a few people, and I was honored that I got to interview you, or introduce you, not interview. She made me read her thing exactly, and not
I heard about that.
And not tell what I really know. So you guys contact me later. Anyway.
She told me that she told you had to stick word for word.
I did, and it's like, really, I'm a rebel. I don't like that. And plus, I do know stuff. So anyway, that's why she made me do it that way.
Which, by the way, for people who don't know, Kathy has an amazing, several amazing channels. And she interviews all kinds of interesting people as well. Yeah. And she also does, she's a marketer, and many people know that that's what I did in my last life. And her marketing is very cool, because she uses guidance from the other side, higher guidance, your own higher guidance, to help you find out what it is that you're here to do. So Kathy, if you want, go ahead and put your link in the chat for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, is there anybody else?
I don't have everybody. Somebody keeps getting in the chat. I don't know. The whole time it's been out. It's
open now. You should be able to do it now.
Now it is, but
it was closed earlier, but
they're scared of me. They keep taking me out. It's because I can really. Anyway, I won't. I'll be good.
Yeah, well, that's because you just talk so much. I am just kidding.
I'm leaving now. Where's the unpin here?
Well, Kathy, you didn't tell everybody that I'm going to be on your show on Thursday. Yeah.
On Thursday, yeah.
Yeah.
So that in the group, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm still putting it together, but yeah, I was doing.
It's going to be in the Creators Convergence. Is that right?
Oh,
Thursday?
no, it's on,
Co-creators.
no, it's on, Conscious Business Zone, which will be on, 4 or 5 places in Facebook, on my YouTube channel, Mason Works Marketing YouTube channel, on, LinkedIn and Twitter, and on Roku TV, and on, Amazon Fire TV, and on podcasts.
Wow.
So stick it in the
Yeah,
chat. And then also,
See, you
Kathy.
get in a
Oh
movie,
yeah,
but we're-
Roku. Okay, I can
Yes.
see myself on Roku.
And Kathy, also share it in the Hawaiian Islands group. A lot of people know that Kathy shares her conversations in the Hawaiian Islands Facebook group. So if you guys haven't joined,
Yeah, did you see the
please.
one I did today? Wow.
I was a little
Yes.
bit occupied, but I'm gonna, because that looks
Oh
really
my
good.
God,
That looks amazing.
She photographs orbs and
That's
light
what I
beams.
saw. It looks
I
really,
think I
really
had
good.
her.
Stone
What's her
Hobbit.
name?
Stone Hobbit. I don't think you know her. She's from New Zealand. I'll
Okay, well,
introduce her.
everybody go to the Hawaiian Islands Facebook group and you'll see the post, because that's amazing. She
Well,
photographs
but
orbs and
Facebook is changing things around, so StreamYard didn't work quite the same way on a pre-record. So I don't know what's going on with that, but that's a whole nother story. Thank you for letting me
thank
speak.
you.
I'm not
Thank
supposed
you.
to talk anymore. I
That-
don't want to get a bad reputation for being chatty Cathy. I hated that. I hated that doll.
That's why they kept you on mute. We have let you come out and play for a while.
Thank you very much.
Back to your corner.
All right.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Just love her.
So would you like to share some parting wisdom with everybody? Thank you so much, everybody who has come. We've been
yes.
at it for 2 hours and 15 minutes. And
Yes.
I think everybody is buzzing. Thank
Yes.
you so much for coming. And of course, everybody, please come to our sharing group the 3rd Tuesday, which I think is the 18th.
Oh, I
Is
still
that
have
right?
September. No, I got September on the wall.
September? No,
September.
you're right. October, right.
No.
3rd week in October. I think it's
but
October.
September is still on the wall.
And November 1st, we're going to be having Dr. Grayson, who is one of the founders of Ions, that is going to be speaking. He's literally like the foremost expert, at least one of the very top on near-death experiences. So we are really, really looking forward to him. So please come and bring your questions. He is just a wealth of experts on near-death experiences. He has written so much. And then of course, join Caroline on Awake to Oneness radio.org. She is there for mentoring. I'm sure your phone's going to be ringing off the hook tonight.
Well, that's good. Not tonight, in the morning. It's late here.
Right, you're going to go get in that bath.
No, I'm getting in the bed. Yeah, but basically, I just want everybody to follow their heart, because when we're trapped, when we have those goggles on and we're just focused on the 3D matrix, we let our mind lead us instead of our heart. So when we follow our heart, it won't ever steer us wrong. So that's the best advice I could say, is try to not allow the mind to be the driver in the driver's seat. I put my mind in the back seat. Occasionally I let it ride in the passenger seat, but I never live my heart from the mind. I live my heart from the heart. I live my life from the heart.
Beautiful. Yes, and when we hear those negative messages, those are not us. That's not our higher guidance. That's the ego.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for everybody who came.
Yes,
and we hope to see you all in our next meeting. And please come to our sharing group. For those of you who haven't come, definitely come. It's a wonderful opportunity for everybody to share their experiences.
Yes.
So have a great night. Aloha to everyone. And we will talk to you soon.
Okay, bye for now.